That way, whoever has missed it can perhaps find this helpful. Okay, now I'm just sharing my views or my experience in terms of trading in India and what it may entail for people who are outside the country. Whether they are residents of India or non-residents of India, that's another matter. But even for a resident who travels outside India, when they trade from outside on an Indian platform, what seems to be the issues, and therefore which one seems better. My own experience is that there's no one good platform. Each one has its own problems and issues that we need to live with. But we'll try to find something which perhaps has more usefulness than others. Again, this is just sharing of our experiences. So if you all have some experience that I should capture in this PowerPoint so that it's helpful for others, please do share that. So whatever I'm saying is just my experience. And this session is primarily to share among ourselves the issues that we all face so that we can try to find answers. Okay. Given that, are you able to see my screen? Am I audible?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
very good. So I just titled it Trading in India from Outside India. So it's not specific to NRIs, even for residents, as I said, traveling out. Okay. Now, there are different brokerage platforms in the country, but these four I have experience with. So ICICI Direct and HDFC Securities, I've handled them for a long time. Zerodha for the last 4 years, and JM Financial for the last 1 year or so. And there are several others which I have not bothered to check out. Okay. So my experience would primarily be from these four that I'll be sharing with you. And as I said, there's no one single one that has yet met my criteria for a good one. Okay. Now, what are all the considerations that we should look at? One is ease of access. How do we log in? If when we are outside India, logging into the account becomes an issue, then we cannot trade at all. So to me, this is number one. We should be able to access the site. And I'll explain what ease of access is in the next few slides. Second is the issues of compliance. And not all platforms are good at that. There are some which are definitely better than others, but compliance issues. Okay. Then how fast do we get the money into our account? If we sell and we want to get the money out, how fast can we get it into our bank account, not just into the brokerage account? Let me change that here. Okay, so how fast can we get the money into our bank account so that we can touch the money that we get out of selling? Okay, and then reports for year-end tax purposes. While I've written as a report for year-end, it's not just for the year-end. Even during the year, for our decisions in terms of trading, we may need access to the reports in a format that gives relevant data, okay? And not all of them are up to the mark there, okay? Now, apart from the year-end tax, there are other reports also that we need to look at in terms of monthly, how our portfolio is doing. Again, almost all of them miserably fail in that respect compared to some of the American brokerages, okay? And the other one is to do with non-residents, if they can trade with the NRO account, which means trading with the non-PIMS account, is a much better situation than if a certain brokerage is forcing us to use only the PIMS account. Okay, not all brokerages allow NRIs to trade with NRO account, okay, or a non-PIMS account. And then continuing, the use of margin is one consideration if people do take margin and trade, okay? And then, as I said, the report window or the trading window with all the relevant data in one particular screen makes for a ease of trading with all the relevant information. Again, not all platforms are up on this. There are some which have much better display of relevant data for our trading purposes, okay? And then some people might want to know about full service versus discount brokers. In my view, all of them are discount brokers. There's nothing like full service. And talking about full service, the knowledge of the frontline staff is important. And not all brokerages have knowledgeable frontline staff. And I'll talk about one which has good frontline staff, okay? And then, if there is a problem, how do they handle it? How fast do they handle it? How professionally do they handle it? And I can share my horrible, horrible experiences with some of these people, okay? So these are the 10, 11 considerations that I put here. Now let me stop here and ask you, do you have any other considerations that I should write about? Any other considerations from your point of view, please? No? All right. So
yeah, I had one thought. So are we able to, in all of these brokerage accounts, are we able to do transactions in mutual funds, stocks, options, etc., or are there limitations one versus the other, you know?
Okay. All right.
The other one we can, is there a tax reporting? How, like, do this provide some kind of a data export, import for ease tax reporting?
I didn't quite well get it. Can you repeat, please?
Now, how do they support, how well they support the tax reporting, like the tax filing, right?
Tax filing, okay.
Do they provide data that can be, you know, easily imported, exported? Kind of
Okay, all right. Tax filing help, all right. We'll talk about that. All right, so let me save this here. Okay, good. So let me continue, and I'll keep adding as we talk about them. Okay. So ease of access. This two-factor authentication is a big issue. Now, not all trading platforms allow the second factor authentication through an app on your phone. They all send OTP, one-time password or one-time PIN, and not all of them send the PIN via email. They would insist on sending it to your India phone via SMS. And if you're sitting outside India and you're not able to access your text messages on your India phone, then you cannot do the second factor authentication. So to me, one major consideration for selecting a platform is how do we do the second factor authentication? Do we get the OTP via email, which can be accessed anywhere in the world? Or do they do only through a text on an Indian phone number? And the second thing is the second factor authentication. If they do it via the phone app, then it makes the job much easier. You don't even have to open up your email box. And here, via the phone app, sorry, two brokerages that I use, ICICI and Zerodha, are good. Okay. Now, the OTP thing is the HDFC. And there, you need to know where to go and do the settings change that you will get the OTP through both phone and email. If you don't know where to do the setting, they'll send it only on the phone. And if you're outside, you don't have an Indian number, we have a problem there. Okay. So I have found ICICI and Zerodha to be pretty good in terms of ease of access. Okay. Now, I said I do HDFC, ICICI, Zerodha, and JM Financial. Now, when it's come to JM Financial, I rarely log into the account through a laptop. I mostly do the operations on the phone itself. So in that sense, I should add here trading on the phone app versus computer. Which one seems to be better? Now, all four of them have apps on the phone. I find not all of them mirror what is available on the laptop or on the desktop. But in using all four, I find definitely Zerodha and JM Financial to be better in trading on the phone app. Okay. Now, the other point where I've written here, when you sell a stock, there has to be a clearance via the depository via OTP. Now, this is an interesting thing. Only Zerodha is seeking this, okay? And therefore, this issue is a big issue because the depository clearance via OTP happens only on your India mobile phone, not on your email. So if you're using Zerodha and you want to sell a stock, you have to do a second login to your depository account and get a OTP and clear it. Only then you will be able to sell on the Zerodha platform. Whereas none of the others have this particular issue, okay? Because Zerodha is 100% compliant with the SEBI regulations and exchange regulations. Not all of the others do this, okay? So this is an issue that you will face if you're handling Zerodha, which is a very good platform, but on one or two of these aspects, it falls short. So I have not yet found a way to handle this depository clearance without a text OTP. If they can send it on an email, it makes the job easier, but maybe they do, but I have not been able to check that out, okay? So this is with respect to the ease of access. Any other points here that you would like to add, please? Okay. Now, continuing on this, compliance matters, okay? Zerodha is 100% compliant. You don't have to worry at all. Whereas I have doubts about others. And that may not immediately hit us, but at the most critical moment, it may hit us if the SEBI or the exchanges come down heavily on them. As customers, we may get hit. So we need to be doubly sure that the platform that we work with, the brokerage that we work with, however big they may be, they need to be 100% compliant. Okay. Now, speed of withdrawal of cash into our bank account is something that, to me at least, it's very important. Now, if you have an account with ICICI and HDFC, they have what is known as a 3-in-1 account. It's all bundled where the trading account, the bank account, and the depository where the shares are kept in your name are all in one, okay? So when you make a sale, the money comes into your bank account on whichever T1 or T2, okay? But if you work with JM and Zerodha, when you sell, the money is with Zerodha. You need to physically move it from Zerodha into your bank account. and that can take at least 1 or 2 days. So to me, in this particular aspect, ICICI Direct is number one, because not only do they give you this 3-in-1 account where when you sell, whenever the money is credited to your account as per the settlement process, you get it into your bank account, but which is what HDFC also does. But more importantly, for ICICI, they have a specific option for most stocks. You can do what is known as the eATM sale, where you click a button and you request the money to be credited to your account within 5 minutes. So several of the stocks qualify for this particular feature of eATM, which gives you the cash within 5 minutes of your sale. And therefore, on speed of withdrawal of cash into bank account, I'll put ICICI Direct as number one. Okay. Again, any thoughts on this? Any of your experiences on this? Please let me know. Now, reports I put for year-end tax, but even during the year we need reports. Now, we need one capital gains report. Number two is the dividends report. Now, because we pay tax on dividends as well, all these brokerages know when the money is credited to you for the dividends for the stocks that are in your account. However, they don't give a separate dividends report. This is an issue with HDFC. It's an issue with Zerodha. Okay. Sometimes ICICI Direct gives the dividends report, but there are times when I have not been able to get. Okay. Now, the capital gains report is given in different formats across the different brokerages. I have found HDFC capital gains report to be fairly good, followed by ICICI. Okay. And then only Zerodha. Because for Zerodha, I need to leave the main trading platform and go to a backend system called console in order to pull up this capital gains report. Whereas with HDFC and ICICI, in the same window, I can pull up the report. So the ease of getting the report, capital gains report, is better than HDFC and ICICI. And again, reporting is in HDFC and ICICI, they give you the short term and the long term and the intraday, what they call the speculative, and then the derivatives. All four are available. With Zerodha, I'll have to specifically go into and ask for equity at one time and derivatives another time. They don't necessarily tell me the intraday gains separately. So I find HDFC and ICICI better in this respect. As I said, dividends report is a problem in all of their cases. Okay. Now, during the trading window, I would like to see the realized gains report by stock. Let me put by stock. This is an issue with Zerodha, whereas HDFC and ICICI give the data very, very well. Okay. So at any point in time, I need to know, at least that is how I do my trading. When I'm about to buy or sell a particular stock, if I've already had that stock with me, I like to know how much I've made earlier, realized, and so on. And that HDFC and ICICI score over Zerodha. Yeah, go ahead, please. All right. We'll continue then. Now, trading with the non-PIMS account. Frankly, I don't do this So I can't add a lot of value in this particular aspect, but I know a lot of NRI clients do this, and some brokerages like ICICI and HDFC, which are banks, don't allow this because they make more money only if it is the PIMS account. So if you want to trade with a non-PIMS account through your NRO account, then going to other brokerages like JM might be better than the bank related securities. Okay. Now, any experience for you guys here? Yes, Amish.
Yeah, I wondered, so what is PIMS account? I'm sorry, I know there is a requirement from RBI for PIS account.
Yeah,
But
I think it's the PIS. I think at one time it was called the PIMS. I think now that,
okay.
yeah. So I didn't find that word very appealing, so I put PIMS. Okay.
Okay. So it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with non-PIMS account. I mean, just to share my personal experience, I have a relationship with the HDFC Bank. I have, recently opened a PIS account and a DMAT account, but they are not able to open a trading account with HDFC Securities.
Yeah.
For OCI holders, So I don't know if that same applies to the non-resident Indians that have Indian passports. I don't think that should be the case. Since they have Indian passports, they should be able to, trade.
No, if you have an
with
OCI, you are eligible to have an NRO account.
No, yeah, I have NRO account.
Yes.
I have NRO account. I have DMAT account.
Yes.
I have PIS account. But they could not open a HDFC securities account for me.
Yeah, because the banks don't want to
online
do
trade.
it. See, the banks make more money on your PIS account.
Exactly.
So if you try to open a trading account with either HDFC or Kotak or ICICI, they will not allow. So you need to go to a separate, even I think Zerodha allows, okay? I have not had any issues, anyone reporting, but
I think it could be
Zerodha
due to,
or
that there is a
JM would allow. Yeah,
Actually, ICICI, it allows non-PINS NRO account also, basically.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, I happen to open for some reason. So you can do NRO or NRI, like NRE, so both of them.
Okay.
But I could not buy only the mutual funds. I was just trying to do some mutual funds or index. So or if you have any already existing stock, and they create 4 accounts actually. If you want, I have some contact in ICI. One of my friend referred, and but he helped me, but he moved to now different bank, Kotak. But he was very helpful to me. So and he helped one of my stock like to get converted to DMAT and get it on my account. It took like 6 months or 1 year. So it was pretty neat, ICICI.
Excellent.
But option I didn't test actually.
Okay.
But I know I have 4 accounts.
Okay. Now,
if you need any help, I can recommend a guy. But he moved from that bank, ICICI, to some other bank. But he can help you if you are interested. He's a guy he was introduced by my friend. He was working in that bank that point in time, in that wealth management area, basically.
Excellent. Now, you talked about options. I frankly do not know whether NRIs are allowed to do options in India. Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't try. It is there actually. Because maybe some other time I can send some screenshot what I have from ICICI to you, sir, because I don't want to share in the group. Then you can look into it and then share it with the group, basically.
Now, I have 1 or 2 clients actually who are in Dubai, and they have their trading account with the HDFC, and there they are able to do options.
No. Here the question is OCI. See, I have not used my Aadhaar card or anything to open the account in ICICI. You just open your PAN card applied through OCI. So everything through, that's a question for this gentleman. So
correct,
it is
yeah.
through
Yeah.
OCI card. So what
Mhm.
you say in Dubai will be regular NRIs.
Mm.
So without renouncing the citizenship.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it could be due to, there is a FATCA compliance requirement, right? Banks have to report back to US, all their client
No, I
information.
gave my SSN. I gave my
Yeah.
US passport. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
it,
to
it
do that.
depends on,
They
which
don't-
bank can have that facility, right? Based on that, they
Yeah.
may support it. So.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Excellent. So now let
Yeah,
me
I mean,
go
all
back to
banks
the.
have to report the NRO account or OCI card holders or NRI account holders details to IRS or the US Treasury, whatever their relationship is. That is my understanding.
No,
Because
I think it's
they
based
ask
on,
you to sign.
if you have more than $10,000, then you have to report the FBAR. You have to file FBAR
Yeah.
part of your tax return, right? So.
Yeah.
Right, but I think the banks are required to report that information annually to IRS as well. That's why they make you,
Regardless of the balance, they have to report.
regardless of the balance. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's how they cross match, right? IRS's basically job is to cross match all the information and make sure it is all coming in accurately, and then otherwise, they call you on audits, right?
Yeah, I think that's where we need a good, bank that can ease our tax filing and all that, right?
Right.
Otherwise, being here, it's too difficult to do all those,
Sure.
for
We'll
Indian
come to
tax
that,
filing.
yeah. So the other consideration is whether they give margin, whether they allow non-residents to trade with margin or not, okay? Again, I don't have enough information on who allows it and who does not, okay? Zerodha is fairly strict with margin trading, whereas the others are a bit lax, especially JM Financial is a bit lax on this, okay? They may give a loan through their another company so that it acts like an extra margin than what is allowed by the exchange, okay? Now, we talked about the report earlier also. I found ICICI trading window to give very good relevant data, especially for options. So when I do an options with ICICI Direct, the data that is displayed is extremely helpful. And I have not found that with anybody else. So I would say ICICI Direct in that respect is very good. Now, as I said, full service or discount brokers. Now, HDFC, ICICI, and JM are full service brokers. And among the three, I found JM to be fantastic when it comes to the knowledge of the frontline staff to help you when you have some immediate questions while in the midst of a trading minute, okay? So with discount brokers like Zerodha, it's primarily through email or whatever. So if there's no urgency, then Zerodha is fine. But if you want a full service, I would say JM is excellent. Okay, excellent. They give you all kinds of. Now, in case of a problem, how do they handle the problem to solve is a key issue. And I've had horrible experiences with both HDFC and ICICI. JM is excellent because the senior management is available to you, but more importantly, the frontline staff can fix the issues for you. So in that, one particular problem could spoil the whole lot of relationships. And JM is excellent in handling these problems. Okay. Now, are we able to do all asset classes? I don't do others, but the HDFC, I know it has mutual fund, gold, and all that. But these days, I only do stocks and options, and therefore, I'm not able to address that particular point. When it comes to tax filing help, none of these people will help you except giving you the profit and loss statement or the capital gains report. Now, some of these banks have a tie-up with tax filing software companies. And I think HDFC has that. Okay, I have not used it, so I'm not able to explain how that works. But when it comes to tax filing, it's a mess in India. Okay, none of the so-called professionals are professional enough to handle this without headaches for you. Okay, after all these years, I found one accounting company, which the last 2 years they seem to be okay, but unfortunately, my experience with the professionals in India has been pathetic. Okay, so these are the various considerations that I have gone through, experienced it, and considered, based on which I've opened my brokerage accounts. If there's anything else, any other questions that you might have, I'll be happy to address them if I missed out anything. Okay.
So this
So
is really
your-
helpful, sir. If you could
Yeah, no,
rank
go ahead.
them up like from 1 to 5, which one would you recommend, like from an account perspective?
I would say go with ICICI Direct, because
Oh, okay.
you see the ease of access. You can use the phone app to have the second factor authentication. Compliance, because it's a large bank, even if they mess up, it may not be it so much. Speed of withdrawal of cash, absolutely ICICI Direct. Okay. Now
Got
the
it.
reports for year
I
end
think the one
are all
they,
the same. Come again?
sorry, one they have is called 3-in-1 account. Is that what you have to open?
Yeah, that's a 3-in-1 account, yes. But the point is, even HDFC has a 3-in-1 account, but the cash does not come into your account immediately. This feature is there in ICICI Direct. Okay. That's the main consideration. The reports for year-end tax, almost all of them are the same, so no major issue. Okay. So I would say ICICI Direct, in my view, would be number one. If you want this knowledge of frontline staff, full service in case of a problem, those kinds of things, JM Financial is excellent. Okay, so ICICI and JM, I would say, are the top in my list. Okay, but Zerodha, I have not had any problems at all, and therefore it is smooth going. Okay, and very easy to operate. So no major hassles. It's a very simple platform.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Very
Yeah,
good.
I think from compliance standpoint, I don't know if you are familiar with all these consolidators, NSDL and CSDLs,
Yes.
right? So I do get, I mean, I don't do enough trading to get monthly statements. So they send me like 6 monthly statements. And I've seen if you do any kind of transactions, they do provide, the details of those transactions as well.
Yes, yes.
So that should probably suffice from a tax filing perspective.
Yes.
And then the other question I had was, I don't know if people have had any experiences with having individual accounts for NRO and for trading purposes, etc. Does that work better, or having joint accounts, with you and your spouse or you and your kids, however, the combination works for you? Which one works better,
Joint account versus individual account is no major issue. Okay. I have not come across that as an issue from anybody that I have known of. So it's fine to have either joint names or individual names.
So can I open a Zerodha account with joint names online, or
now
that?
okay. Now with the HDFC and ICICI, not an issue. With the Zerodha, I don't know about joint accounts. Okay, but nobody has brought this up in my view. But this is an important question. I'll find out. Good point.
Because I think I've heard that you have to be there personally in India to open a joint account. You can probably do an individual online account that you can open without any hassle. I haven't really tried it, but that's something I do want to try and see if I can create that account myself. But yeah, I would prefer.
I think that could be.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be another good point to explore, right? Like online, how easy we can open an online account. Because I see that some of them you expect you to be there in person, like when you have to be there in India when you open account.
That's my understanding. You have to be there physically in front of them, and they make you sign all the papers and give you copies, and all the necessary paperwork has to be completed in front of them, versus
But for
remotely.
Zerodha, you can open it completely online without being present to you. Okay. If you have your PAN and Aadhaar, that's allowed. But for NREs or OCI holders, I don't know. Okay. But I have found Zerodha to be very easy to open a trading account. And
Yeah, I
then
think it's mainly for us, sir. I think it's for outside. If you're there, I think when I was going through earlier, they expect us to do some affidavit and all that.
Okay. Anything else? If there's no other considerations, we can bring the meeting to a close. I'll post this in the group. We can discuss. And as one of you mentioned, if you want to share anything with me, please go ahead and do that. And I'll see if anybody wants it. I can distribute that without any issue. Okay. Other than that, I'm glad that you found this useful enough to spend time with me this evening, and happy trading.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. So let me stop the recording and I'll shut down. Okay. Let me see where.